Your business could have the best product in the world and still lose to a competitor with a worse one just because their logo looked more trustworthy. That's not a joke. That's Tuesday in the modern marketplace. And if that doesn't make you at least a little uncomfortable, you're not paying attention. We're talking about brand identity today. And before you roll your eyes and say, oh, that's just a logo thing, understand that companies with strong, consistent branding see revenue increases of up to 23%. That's not a design opinion. That's a financial outcome. Brand identity is the full costume your business wears every single day, and the market is watching. So what actually caused this obsession with branding to explode the way it did? Think about it this way. The internet handed every small business a megaphone, but it also handed one to every single competitor on the planet at the same time. When the noise got deafening, the businesses that cut through weren't necessarily the smartest or the cheapest. They were the ones you recognized instantly. There's a behavioral economics layer here too, and it's wild when you sit with it. People don't make purchasing decisions rationally. They make them emotionally and then justify them rationally, which means your brand is doing psychological work before your salesperson ever opens their mouth. The visual, the voice, the values, they're all sending signals your customer's brain is decoding in milliseconds. Remember when every startup thought a quirky name and a sans serif font was enough to become the next billion-dollar unicorn? Yeah, 2015 called. And even it is embarrassed by that era. The optimism was real, the execution was thin, and a lot of brands that launched loud went quiet because they confused aesthetics with identity. The psychological toll of an inconsistent brand is genuinely underrated. Imagine meeting someone who shows up to every conversation with a completely different personality and wardrobe. Experts like Marty Neumeier, author of The Brand Gap, have argued for decades that a brand is not what you say it is, it's what they say it is. And that distinction should keep every business owner up at night in the most productive way possible. Branding runs in cycles, and history keeps rhyming even when we insist it's different this time. Think about Coca-Cola's disastrous New Coke experiment in 1985. They had one of the most recognized brands on earth and still managed to convince themselves the identity didn't matter. Only the formula did. And the backlash was so fierce, they reversed course in 79 days. Every generation learns this lesson fresh, usually the expensive way. Brand identity fits into the broader, almost clockwork cycle of market differentiation. When markets commoditize, identity becomes the last defensible moat. Communities of marketers and brand strategists have been saying for years that we're entering an era where product parity is the norm and trust is the currency. And honestly, the comment sections and subreddits agree louder than any consulting report. Now, let's kill a misconception right now. Branding is not just for big companies with massive budgets and agencies on retainer. A local plumber with a consistent color scheme, a clear tagline, and a tone of voice people actually enjoy reading has more brand equity than a mid-sized firm with a logo designed by committee and messaging that changes every quarter. The actionable lesson history gives us is embarrassingly simple. Pick a lane, stay in it, and show up the same way every single time. Nike didn't become Nike by reinventing their message seasonally. They said, just do it in 1988, and had the discipline to let that idea compound for decades like a very well-positioned index fund. Moderate risk in branding means being bold enough to have a genuine point of view without gambling your entire identity on a trend. The discipline isn't in the creativity, it's in the consistency, the process of auditing your platforms, your tone, your visuals, and asking honestly whether a customer could recognize you if your logo was removed from the equation. If you need a framework, think of your brand as a person. What do they wear? How do they speak? What do they believe? And crucially, would you trust them? Position size matters here too. Don't overinvest in one flashy campaign and underinvest in the boring, foundational consistency work that actually builds recognition over time. At the end of the day, discipline and sizing beat brilliance and timing in branding, just like they do in investing the business that shows up consistently for 5 years will outlast the one that went viral once. It's genuinely a long game, and the ones playing it know that the goal isn't to be loved by everyone, it's to be unmistakable to someone. Whether your brand crushes it immediately or takes time to find its footing. What matters is that you have a rational system, a clear identity, and the patience to let compounding do its thing. Panic rebranding every 18 months is the brand equivalent of trying to time the market. You already know how that ends. And if you're ready to build something real, whether that's a brand around your real estate portfolio, a contracting business, or a lending practice, check out our links in the description below, because we can help you get started on all of it.